Welcome everybody. My name is Corrine Heck. I'm the founder and CEO of Details Flowers, and I'm so happy to welcome you to our March masterclass is what we were used to be calling it. Now we're calling it Details University. So welcome to the university.
Yeah,
And
first time we've been
First
to
time in your university, American university at that.
American University.
Absolutely.
well, you are gonna get they're gonna give you a bunch of scholarships. So you're gonna have
We get a hat.
yeah, you can join the
Black
sorority
cape.
and a fraternity. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
the titles out and everything for you. No, but
I see we have Sue Whale there from the UK. She's the author of the Cut Flower book. Hi, Sue. How are you?
Hello. Good to see you. Hi. We've
yes,
met before.
lovely to have you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well,
Delighted to be here.
thank you. Thank you for turning in. And thank you guys, everybody that's in the UK and over on across the pond for enjoying this class in the evening because it's still midday here in the States. So I appreciate making that time. So I expect to see some glasses of wine out and we'll do some cheers and some clinking later on. But
we're on the coffee.
oh yeah, no, I know I'm doing my kombucha. But welcome Jeanette and Deirdre to our
Hello.
I am delighted to introduce you both to our audience because I had the pleasure of meeting you guys twice over the last couple years when I visited, and I thought, who is this dynamic duo that is making a wave everywhere that they go through the conference? And so I came to learn and follow along on your journey as you have Kay's Flower School, which is based out of Ireland. Would you be so kind as to give our audience like a brief introduction of you both? If you, I don't know who wants to, yeah.
Well, I'll go first.
You go.
The boss.
No fighting, because I know you're
no fighting. Well, that might happen yet. That might happen yet. I suppose, where did it all start? Kay's, our mum is Kay. So our mum set the business up 38 years ago. Wow. So that's where the people say, who's Kay? Where is Kay? What, where did the Kay come from?
I think I asked you when I first met you.
Probably did.
Like,
yeah,
everyone does. Did. Yeah, everyone does.
And I suppose she set the school up back then as an extra resource to her flower shop. She had a flower shop at the time. And she couldn't get staff. She couldn't get people to work in the shop. So she started doing classes and the classes just became just busier. Jeanette then left the flower shop to do more of the classes. And then it was a case that the shop was sold and it became full-time doing the classes and the courses. And as time went on, they moved from being hobby to becoming more professional, that people to work in the industry. So that's really where it came from.
I suppose that was the main thing. Like in Ireland, there wasn't the, like, for people who want to go and be more professional or be commercial, we didn't actually have
an avenue there.
Didn't have an avenue there that we could access. So anybody in Ireland that wants to go and get certified, etc., they had to go to the UK. So we felt there was a niche in the market for commercial professional floristry courses where we call them in Ireland the local VCs or the techs. They would do what we call hobby classes and night classes. So there was plenty of that. There was a lot of people who are interested and loved flowers. But if they wanted to go that next step, there was absolutely zero in Ireland. So originally, that was, again, another reason why my mum set up the school, was to make floristry more open to all individuals, where, again, back then, 38 years ago, floristry was kind of confined within families. So if your mum, like our mum was a florist, if your mum was a florist, there was a good chance you could be a florist, or nieces or family members. But for people outside the family, it was very difficult for them to trade. It was to train because it was very closed shop. And it was like nobody told anybody. It was a big, big secret. So nobody told anybody anything. And that was our big thing, was to make it more open to the individual.
Yeah. Well, what a wonderful legacy I feel like your mom has left, not only to you, but all the florists over the years that she helped get their foot in the door. Because I definitely know you're not in that world. It's like, how do you learn how to do it unless you go and actually work for a florist or have a family member? So
exactly.
So as an entrepreneur, your mom was really breaking through some glass ceilings like 40 years ago, I imagine.
Absolutely. Way before her time.
Like, she was probably, in our area, she was the only lady driver that drove a car, that way, like, where there was no other mums drove cars. And like my mum did, you know what I mean? She was way ahead of herself. And she used to go into the Dublin flower markets in her high heels, you know, that way. And she'd pop around and get all their flowers. Like, everybody knew her. And she was known as Mrs. K.
And still is.
And still is.
Still is. Yeah.
That's amazing. She must be so proud. Is she still involved in the business?
Very slightly
Well,
now.
a little bit, like,
Yeah. And, you know, like, say today we had a delivery from our suppliers in the UK. And normally, like, Mum would make, so say, just to kind of give you an idea, like, where we make the wires up into bunches for sending out to the students, and that's Mum's job, you know, that way. But she's actually in Lanzarote at the moment, so I ended up having to do this job today. So she, you know, cutting up ribbons and making German pins into putting frogs' legs on Oasis Fix, yeah. So she, you know, behind the scenes, she does a lot of that sort of work. And she's our biggest supporter on social media, all the likes, and she forgets that she is Kay, and she said, "You're great, you're lovely, you're this."
Oh yeah. So they're all seeing Kay is liking her.
Yeah, proud mom.
Well, you know, you can only get so far on social media.
That's it.
That proud. She's probably seen the industry transform a lot since she
Oh
changed.
yeah, absolutely.
Massively. And she does say, like, she says, "Oh, I don't think I could do it now. I don't think I could do it now." You know, where, like, it has just evolved. Like,
but again, like, when she originally trained in floristry, it was using the
moss and
yeah, but the what's the metal thing called?
Oh, the pins.
The pin holder.
Yeah,
And like, it's gas, like, that is back, you know, in vogue again, like sustainability, you know what I mean, reusable. And like, that's how she would have originally trained herself. And like, even when I came into the industry, like, I would have trained on moss bases. Like, I remember when the first floral foam funeral bases came out, and I remember saying, should they never take off? Because we were used to making them on moss bases. Teddy bears, mums, dads, it didn't matter. We made them all on moss bases. So it's like the whole industry has turned around, and we're back doing all the things we did 40 years ago.
Yeah. So you both have worked together. How long have you both been working in the business together?
Together, probably about 14 years.
Yeah.
I came on board. So my background is adult education. I was in the beauty industry.
Okay.
And I trained beauty therapists, and adult education was my business. And then when Mum decided she wanted to retire, now obviously I was reared as a florist. We didn't have any choice. After school, we were all thrown into the shop. Like, so I knew the business, but I'd never wanted to be a florist. I liked my nails. Liked my soft hands. So no, I just did not want to be a florist. But Mum was retiring, and I knew I could do the other side of the business. Even though I'm a florist and I can teach floristry, that's not where I am. I'm sort of more behind the camera, doing editing, doing the marketing, doing that side of the business. The techie, yeah, they call me the techie. The tickie or the techie, depends on the day. But so I came on about 14 years ago, and I sort of done a bit of a revamp of the business, which Jeanette's not very good for change. She doesn't like change at all. So that was a little bit of it took a lot of convincing to convince her around, to the extent I said to her at the time, we need a new website. And she's like, no, the website is fine. And my mum had actually done the website.
Oh, wow.
Which again, like, you know, she was so ahead of her time in that. And I'm like, no, we need a new website, to the point that I says, I would pay for the website and I would prove to you, and then you can pay me back that I know the website will work. So eventually she gave in and she let me do a new website. And it just made life easier and transformed things. We could take bookings through the website, you know. So yeah, like, we've very different elements within the business. We both do completely different things, and we could be here all day and not talk to each other because she's doing one thing and I'm doing
like,
the other.
even today, like, we were working here all day today till about an hour and a half ago. And like, Deirdre, you interviewed somebody this morning.
Yeah.
You did the Virgin backing for business.
I have a webinar tomorrow for backing business, so we had a little meeting about that.
Then you edited a podcast that you had done with a student. She obviously answered all the emails, and then behind all that, I was doing like live classes with my own students. I was packing boxes here today and getting all the kits ready for sending out to the students for the next module that'll be starting in a couple of weeks' time. And like, we barely spoke to each other.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you can probably read each other's mind, or just give her a look, and then they know exactly what you're thinking, right?
Yeah.
She knows when I'm hormony, stay away.
And is there ever sibling rivalry or anywhere like, no, I want this
No.
and this is my
No,
part.
not now.
No.
But I think we often say we got that all out of our system when we were kids.
We couldn't
Okay.
stand each
There's
other.
3 years between us. I'm the eldest, okay? And we could not stand each other, you know. And we both went to the same school, and we didn't walk to school together. Like, you know, we walked separately. We would pass each other on the street. Like, mum at the time, because she used to drive dad to work and then go in the evening time to go and collect him. And when she'd leave us in the house on her own, I mean, we killed each other, you know, cat fights, pulled each other's hair, you know, that we absolutely hated each other. And I think when I got married, and in Ireland, like again, years ago, there was a tradition where they'd make an archway, all the people, and you'd walk under the archway, and like we so sad to say goodbye. And she started crying, you know, and here's mom, you can't stand her. She's leaving the house, like, you know, you should be happy. And then from that day onwards, like she bought a house like literally 500 yards from my house. And like she'd ring me at night time, open your hall door, and we'd run across in our pajamas and a bottle of wine and, you know, cakes and sweets and whatever. So we definitely got closer, and that's about 36 years ago.
Yeah, and we do, and you know, like that, we can read each other. So I know if she does come in and she's cranky or whatever, I just keep my mouth shut and say nothing. I'm never cranky, so that's not an issue.
That's fun. Is there any other siblings?
Yes.
We have a younger sister. Now, Sinead is actually 50, but we still think of her as being the baby sister, you know, that way. She's 8 years younger than me. She lives in Scotland, so she's been over there for about 28 years, you know. She went over, she is actually in the floristry business as well. She was a horticulturist. And part of when she was in college, she had to go and do work experience. And she decided to go to South Africa on her work experience. And when she was there, a Scottish customer came in and they were explaining why 2 Irish girls were in South Africa. And he said, would you come to Inverness? He said he had a garden centre there. So they left South Africa, flew to Inverness. Mum always swears when the plane landed, Sinead got pregnant, you know, that way. And she never came home. So she's over there. She's 2 amazing grown-up kids now. She's married like to the same fella who got her pregnant. and she worked in horticultural up till 10 years ago. About 10 years ago, in the same garden centre that she originally went over on the work experience. So again, she did the floristry and obviously horticulture, and she joined us during COVID. So again, she was out of work and we needed somebody with social media. So she now is a kind of behind the scenes. She works for us. So she signs all the students up to the courses, puts their programs on what we call their dashboard. She puts up the quote of the day. She responds to a lot of the social media.
She's a virtual assistant.
She's a virtual assistant,
Wow, it's a whole family affair. You'll have to get the trio so we can see. Does she also have a blonde bob?
No, she hasn't. No. She's not as blonde as us. No, she hasn't found the same hairdresser.
Okay, good.
She's still going to the Scottish one.
Well, you guys are always looking fabulous. And that was one of the things that really stood out to me when I was at the British Floral Association is who are these wild women that came all dressed like it was like I was really envious. I wanted to be dressed in your
oh, Gwen, you're as glamorous yourself.
Yeah, no, it was so fun. And I feel like it's part of your personality, and you really have brought that everywhere. I've seen you go to Intrigue Experience. I think you were in Maryland this year.
Yeah, that was amazing. And obviously when we were invited over, we were planning our wardrobe, and mostly our wardrobe is pink, you know what I mean, because that's our branding colors. And about 3 weeks before we flew over, Sarah contacted us to tell us that the brand or the theme was going to be yellow. Now, this was in November in Ireland, okay? It was the depths of winter. Like, you could not get yellow clothes. And we went on to ASOS. ASOS, I'm sure it's in America as well, but it's an online, you know, clothing company. And we bought everything yellow that we could see. And then we tried them all on. We were so lucky. I felt that we got a great wardrobe.
We did. And because everything was on sale, it was so cheap as well.
It only cost us €200 for the 2 of us for our whole wardrobe. For the
Intrigue Experience.
And everyone was saying to us, oh, you must have spent a fortune, and it cost you a fortune. It actually didn't. Everything was like €22 for the dresses.
Yeah.
Like, we did really, really well. But that's because it was kind of like old summer stock that we were buying that nobody in Ireland wanted in November. And yellow is not a great colour for Irish people. You know, we pulled it off.
We did.
Well, it's not a popular colour in Ireland.
Well, was that your first time in the States?
First time probably working in the States. We had been in the States quite a lot. Like Deirdre actually had been in Maryland this time last year.
Yeah,
Patrick's weekend. It's Paddy's weekend in Ireland this weekend. And she was in Maryland and she met up with Sarah and Jordan and they met each other. And then she was saying, yeah, I feel, she said, you can definitely bring something over to us. And that's how.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Do you guys travel to a lot of events, or what is
Yeah,
your
we do.
Yeah, we try to go to as many as we can. Yeah, like obviously the UK, like there's quite a few in the UK that we try, and in Ireland here, like there isn't a huge amount in Ireland. We do have Bloom and we do have an event that may be coming up. Save the date, the 29th, 30th of September. It's all very secretive at the moment. We're not organising it, but we know the person organising it, and maybe Corrine might even pop over for it.
I'd love to go to the UK.
Yeah, so if you're a florist in Ireland or in the UK, save that date, the 29th, 30th of September, because there could be something happening that weekend, which we think is going to be amazing.
And the clothes is going to be pink. We definitely won't be yellow. It'll be pink. Okay.
I will wear pink too. That's my favorite color. Yeah. So what has been your favorite event that you have traveled to? Because since you've seen so much, is there anywhere that everyone
probably Intrigue?
Yeah, Intrigue was just,
you just
blew your
could
mind.
not pass it. And like anybody who gets the opportunity to go to any of the Intrigue designs, like Intrigue Across America, Intrigue teaches the Intrigue experience, which is what we did. Like there's lots of different ones. They are absolutely an eye-opener. They're amazing, you know, phenomenal.
Like but you know, like the trainers that are there that are teaching, she just has top quality people there, but also the florists that are there, they're also open to telling you what they do and how they do it, and you know how they upsell and how they would work a certain design. So yeah, that's a great idea, but this is how I do it. Just a very inclusive community we found.
And the networking was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And like we have a couple of, like we actually only launched one of the podcasts there yesterday with Tyler from TK Floral Designs New York. If you get a chance, you should watch that podcast, because I have to say he's a howl, you know.
Character.
And I think for anybody starting off in the flower business, because again, we met Tyler, we knew a little bit of his floristry background, you know, the way, and just kind of, you know, assumed, oh my God, like he's just this amazing florist, you know. And then he was so honest and down to earth. And when he told us how he started off, I'm not going to spoil the story, go and listen to the podcast. It's just so funny, so amazing, an eye-opener, and definitely would encourage anybody that's still on the step ladder. Will I take that next step, you know, and open my own florist business? He did it, and he's just so down to earth. And he gives you all his secrets. Yeah, it's brilliant. But like we met him at Intrigue.
Yeah, we love just seeing the beautiful entrepreneurs that make up this industry. Like there's so many. It really is about taking that leap of faith and just following your passion. But along the way, you might need these different resources on like, well, how do I do this? Or where can I learn this? So of course,
absolutely,
the great resource.
And also what they found with it, what I found in Intrigue, which actually happens. So in here, when people have trained with us, they go into what we call our Bloom Studio. So it's like our elite group that they've done all their training with us. And they're a special group of people that's in that particular Bloom room. And the reason being is because they network so well and they collaborate with each other. And that's what also happened with Intrigue, is that they would fly all over America to help each other out at events. And because some of their events were like $50,000 worth of flowers, like absolutely massive events, like huge. Now we wouldn't get those type of weddings here in Ireland. Well, you might get one or two in your lifetime, maybe, but but we see that sort of collaboration within our Bloom Studio. So when people have done all 4 modules with us, as I said, they move. It's a free group. It's a mentoring group. But to be honest, they mentor each other within the group as well. And somebody will post up, I need something, a bit like Sarah's group as well. You know, how do I price this, or what will I do here? Or I have a wedding and I need an extra hand. And that's what we love. Like, we believe in collaboration, not competition. There's enough work out there for everybody. If you get it, if you know, work with each other rather than against each other, and everyone is a winner.
Yeah. And I love Sarah's, what she's doing. She is using Jet Fresh, who is one of our partners. there, and he's
All
done
right, yeah. So
flowers.
we met Fernando when we were
The
again
friend.
over there, and we
Yeah.
actually interviewed Fernando, and we have actually
It's up on our YouTube channel.
up on our
yeah.
YouTube channel. And again, because we would get a lot of American students, and when we're trying to organize like flower suppliers for them, and like we were chatting to Fernando, and he said, listen, and he will sort them out no matter what part that they're in, he'll be able to sort them out. So that's great. So now we have that interview that we can give to our students, has all his details, you know, that way.
Yeah.
And it is up on YouTube. Yeah. And he's lovely. He's really, really nice.
And helpful,
They're so much fun. We feel like they're the male version of our company. Like we're the, the sweet feminine side, and they're like the rough and tumble guy. Like, but we just we love hanging out
Brilliant.
with them too. What I love most about Sarah's class, though, is the things she teaches. So, for example, she does a lot of large installations, and you and I were talking before we popped on this. It's, if you've never done a large installation, sometimes you just don't have that confidence that you can.
Absolutely.
And it might keep you from getting a larger job just by saying, no, I don't know. And they can, like, your client can sense that. So I think by attending these types of events and getting.
Also, I think sometimes you may know the mechanics or you may know how to do it, but you don't have any samples to show that you actually did it. So this is where attending something like them events and taking part in it. And again, she just have there was 3 photographers there when we were there and 2 videographers. And so you were able to get your photograph of you working on the designs, and you had them for your portfolio. I actually did this garland. I did this archway, pillars, whatever it was. So that was fantastic.
And it is, and I do believe that you get what you reap what you sow. So if you put out small weddings, you get small weddings. If you put out big weddings, you'll get big weddings. And if people see you for that florist who does big installations or arches and candelabras, they're the type of brides or wedding couples that you're going to attract.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the most things, as not to plug details, but like what our software really does. And I heard it from
I was just going to say that, because sometimes knowing the mechanics and how to make the design can sometimes be the easy part. But working out the stem count, what it's going to cost you, what you like, your labor charges, and what you're going to sell it at, that sometimes be the problem. And we have a module 4 going on at the moment. I see some of our students are actually live here tonight with us. But we do teach them how to do arches and pillars and moon gates and suspended garlands and trailing garlands and cascading garlands, etc. And we go through their stem count exactly and what it's going to cost. But again, when they go to do a proposal, and I've been harping all week, I said, listen, join in on the webinar with Corrine tonight, because I said, she has the software package. And how I explained it to them, I says, here in Ireland, when we go to do our accounts for our flower business, we use Sage, or when we go to do our payroll for our staff, we use CallSoft. And I said, really, for your software package that you need for your flower business, you really need details. And I know you went through with us, and I did kind of hint that there will be a free trial for all our students and maybe some of our followers as well. And a huge discount, huge discount.
Massive, huge.
Just let us know that you came from K's, because we're all about education and collaboration. And of course,
and you know what, it was funny, Corrine, was what some 2 people said to us was that when they took on details, every wedding they got. That it actually, there was a percentage of where they were sending out proposals after proposals and putting so much work into proposals and getting nothing back. And I think they did tell us that more or less when you've done a few proposals, you can nearly duplicate the work, that you don't have to keep doing all that work again.
We need to shut up and let her tell us that.
Nice tried and true techniques on how you can close those sales right on the spot. And when I was selling weddings, 15, 20 years ago, I could never close the deal on the spot. And then when we started doing our software and the way that we do it, it just was every time you'd meet with someone, they were just sign here, pay that retainer, and then you're locked into our calendar. But so I invite you all to try and let us know what you think. So would you say that your classes are more suited for those beginner florists, or do you have even for those that want to work on their skills, or what is the best student to be a member of like Kay's Flower School?
Okay, so we have 4 modules altogether, and module 1 would be for the complete beginner, the person who has dabbled, or the person who has no formal training, but maybe is playing around with flowers, maybe selling some flowers, but has absolutely no formal training. So we recommend that they would start with module 1, and it would be mostly flower arranging. But as well as teaching the floristry techniques, we also teach the business end of it, which is where a lot of the floristry colleges around Europe, they don't do the business end. So they don't actually go into about wholesalers, suppliers, cost prices, stem count. Now, when we do our stem count, we do it the old fashioned way, notebook and pen, that way. But again, eventually we're going to bring details into our students and that they can have that's the plan. You don't know that yet, but that is going to be the plan. And then module 2 is where they kind of advance on to the likes of hand-tied bouquets, funeral sprays, and different types of remembrance tributes, which would be big in Ireland and the UK. I'm sure it's big in America as well.
Absolutely.
Module 3 would be all completely wedding floristry, bridal floristry, bouquets, accessories, everything to do with the actual wedding package. And then module 4 is large event floral structures, like what I mentioned earlier on. So some people may jump in from maybe in at module 4. Again, in Ireland, UK, they may have done City and Guilds, or they may have done other formal training, and they may find that they didn't do, normally they haven't got enough in bridal floristry. So they might jump in at module 3 and module 4. So there's something there for everybody.
There is. I suppose what we focus on are the skills, are really the foundations and the skills. And we firmly believe if you've learned the skills, you can adapt that to anything. Yeah. So like if you can do a wired teardrop bouquet, no matter what you have asked to do it in wedding work, you'll be able to do it. It was actually funny because we got 3 girls from Intrigue Experience that booked onto our module 1. And really? They were blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
Were these online classes or in-person classes?
All online. So all our professional courses are online.
Wow.
And we do hobby courses here in Dublin, like that are sort of hobby course at Christmas or spring or something like that. But our professional courses, when we moved online during COVID, it was obviously a massive move. Because it was something we hadn't done before.
Now, massive isn't a word recognized in America.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Huge. So like it was huge for us to do this and to bring it all online. And initially we sort of thought we would go back to classroom. We were going to do this and it was just going to be an add-on to our classroom-based courses. And as the courses were running and as the students were attending, we were like, hell, this is actually so much better than any of our classroom-based courses would be. And the feedback we were getting from the students and was very much, they could watch, first of all, at any time of the day. They could watch from anywhere in the world. They could watch it over and over and over because all the training is pre-recorded. But the live support is Monday to Friday, so they can post in our Facebook group. We call it our Bloom Room. They can WhatsApp Jeanette. They can WhatsApp designs and get immediate feedback. If they're in the States, we work within their time frame as well and do extra hours in the evening time to allow for that. But one of the questions was always, will we go back to classroom based? And to be honest, we would be doing the industry an injustice to go back to classroom based because it has been so successful in how we do it. And our online courses, they're not like other online courses that you're left to your own devices. If you're not in contact with us, she's in contact with you.
If I don't get a WhatsApp from them for a few days, I WhatsApp them, and as I just say, kicking the ass here, that way, what's happening, where are you? And it's amazing, like some of them, like one even there contacted me today and she said, oh, Jeanette, I've been very quiet the last few days, but I was sick, that way. And sometimes I think they think I'm their mammy and they have to make excuses to me, but we are that close, and like I see Wendy is there joined in on the Zoom class there this evening as well. And like Wendy, I probably talk to Wendy 3 or 4 times a day. I feel I know Wendy and she's only on module 2. I've never met her. If she stood in front of me, I probably wouldn't even know I wouldn't recognize her, But I know she has grandkids. I know she has a wife, that way. I know so much about her. I know her wife is going through, therapy at the moment. I know so much about her. And yet, it's all completely online. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Wendy.
That's fine. Oh, that's great. Well, it is good to know your students and where they need that kick in the butt, right? Or where how they need pushed or because it's UC. And do you grade them in the school? Like we
Yeah.
always
Oh,
think about like
absolutely. Yeah.
grading people on how
Yeah.
well they use details and send them like a report card, but it might not be something that a lot of people would appreciate. You know, I always wonder, I teeter on this. You kind of have to opt in for the grading.
Mm.
But I feel like
Well, I
everybody
just say
should
to the
try.
students, I have one-to-one WhatsApp with them, you know. So when there's, and I always say to them, what happens in the WhatsApp stays in the WhatsApp, because nobody else can hear what I say to them. And I would be very, very honest with them. So if they need more than a kick, you know, that I won't even use the words that I use to them, you know, but if they need more than a kick, by God, you know, I give it to them in the WhatsApp. And we're still the best of friends, and I still love them, you know, that way, but they're not allowed away with anything, no. But if they're really, really good, they get the praise and they get, you know what I mean? But if they need to be just kind of brought on, or say, hold on now, that is just not good enough, that's, especially as they move on to module 3 and module 4, the standard, obviously, you know what I mean? The bar gets higher, and what you get away with module 1 and module 2, you will not get away with on module 3 and module 4. So, like, our students have won so many awards, like, you know, haven't they?
They have,
like,
yeah.
you know, florist of the year, wedding florist of the year, florist of the year, like the Leinster florist of the year, the Ulster florist of the year. Like, it's all our students, and I'd say you're going out there and you're representing us. So yeah, definitely more than a kick in the ass for some of them.
Well, Lee McAvoy says, ha ha ha, I can confirm. And then Leonie Garacati says, I'll say nothing.
So the two of them definitely got, you know, the more than the kick.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I love that. And, you know, it's really hard, but when people are in class, they want that constructive criticism because
absolutely.
in the real world, either people are just going to stop buying your flowers because they don't like the way
That's
you
exactly it.
Yeah.
That is it. It's,
like,
yeah.
We have another Facebook group, and it's called the K's Flowery Fun Group, and it's open to everybody all over the world. Like, so not necessarily our students, and you don't have to be a professional. All to be eligible is you love flowers. Okay, so you have people posting photographs, and it could be one dead daffodil in a teacup, you know the way, and we always say that's lovely. That's lovely,
brutal.
you know, because that's what the fun group is about. They're doing it because they love flowers. They're not doing it to sell. They're not doing it to give as a gift. They're doing it for themselves. Now, there is some people in the fun group that are doing it kind of more professional. But as I always say, if you want to be told it's lovely, go over to the fun group. But if you want to get honest criticism and honest feedback, send it to me in the WhatsApp. What happens in the WhatsApp stays in the WhatsApp.
It reminds me of my friend JP. He owns a florist in Wellington, but he started this Facebook group called Roast Me. Have you seen it? And where people will post pictures, and the florists love to like go off on any of those.
Yeah. Well, I don't like that if it's public now, you know. I prefer it kind of like private.
Because there is a lot of groups out there, and you know what? It can really knock people's confidence.
You can knock
people are paying you to learn something, and they're paying you to learn it properly or to do it properly. And as you say, like, they're going out to work in the industry, and then they wonder why they haven't sold or why their flowers are not selling. You need to give them constructive feedback, you know. But
I don't believe in a public roasting.
No, not a public roasting. Definitely not.
No, it's lovely.
Well, that's lovely. I know.
That's nice.
Yeah. Every time I post a picture of my new bangs, if you say that's lovely, I'll be like, oh no, I know, so wrong. Yeah. So when you're doing these courses, do you ship them boxes of flowers for them to practice with, or how has that worked into your curriculum?
So they're watching their pre-recorded tutorials for 10 days before they actually get a fresh flower delivery. Now, we would have posted out all the materials in advance. So everything they require for the class, containers, floral foam, wires, ribbons, everything is sent out to them. So how we do it for the Irish, like students in Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, we organise deliveries direct from Holland from the Dutch suppliers. They come in through Hannon's Transport. So they come Holland, UK, Ireland, and they all get delivered direct to their home. For the UK students, we used to be able to do that for UK students, but with Brexit, it changed it a little. But now what they do is we give the UK students a discount. They then contact the same supplier that we're using, and they get a duplicate of the order. And then basically it's to kind of like cut out Brexit. They buy it, they order it, they pay for it. And then for our American students, we have Fernando in Jeffresh, and he looks after them. And
South Africa,
in South Africa, we have Hook, has a branch in South Africa. The Australian students, Vanderplas is able to look after them. So again, we have a site on our website, a page on our website called Student Resource. And all our students are given a login and a password. And basically it's for infinite. They have it forever. And we update that constantly. So again, any suppliers, so they can log in there. And if they need a supplier in Poland, they can log in, they can get a flower supplier in Poland, the rep's name, phone number, email address, website address, details about the supplier, like is it fresh flowers, is it sundries, is it plants, minimum orders, transport details, login details. With a lot of the suppliers, we have what we call a temporary login and password, so they can log into the websites to play around and look at it without actually committing and opening up an account, you know, that way, just till they learn how the websites work. So yeah, we basically organize the deliveries all over the world, but sometimes we're just helping them. We may not physically be able to do it, but as I said, we're there to help them and support them every step of the way.
Remember, we had a girl over in America, I can't remember her name, and you actually walked around. She walked around the wholesalers with Suzanne. Yeah,
she was actually in New York.
Wasn't it?
No, New York. Well, there was the other girl that was in Florida as well, and she was the same. So when they went to their suppliers, they told me the time, and I was then on the phone, and they were able to video their suppliers and say, right, they don't have Protea, but they have this, or they don't have orchids, but they have this. And then so they went around and then showed me the stock that the supplier had, and I was able to say, yeah, that will substitute, or that will substitute.
That's lovely, but no. That's
nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
A lot of work, but again, it'd be, you know, it's unusual for that to happen, you know, that way. But again, in Australia, like the flower selection they would have wouldn't be the same as Europe, you know, that way. And I know the Australian ones, they do struggle with them, and they have to make a lot of substitutes. So well, nobody's left on their own. Nobody's left behind.
I love that you're solving problems all over the world, though. And that's what we found when we started doing this software, is that, wow, people that are doing this floristry work are having the same problems no matter where they are.
Absolutely, yeah.
We need to start going to the UK so that I'm familiar with like who the wholesalers are, or how can we best steer our education arm to like make sure that we're giving.
You should come to Holland. We're going to Holland just before the May bank holiday weekend, around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
I think I'm going to be there in November for IFTF.
All right. Okay. We missed that last year. We did. Yeah. But hopefully
we should do like a little field trip or something.
Yeah, because that's what we're going to do in May. And then we've organized with the reps, and they're going to bring us, you know, around the different growers. We've done it before, but we want to see different growers this time.
I'm going to fit in your pink backpack. Rolling me in a pink suitcase. I can just see it. So is it only you teaching the courses, or do you ever bring in guest teachers or anything?
Oh, we bring in guests all the time.
Like Sue.
Sue Whale. So she would come in and she would explain about her books, because again, we have them here beside us. We always recommend our students, and we might as well give her a plug when we're here there. We recommend all our students to buy these books, okay? They're absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that, you know, this is like the Bible. And so then we get Sue to come in and explain how they can use the books, and she offers them support. And if they ever need any help or advice on substituting flowers, I just say, get in contact with Sue, you know. So Sue would be one. We bring in social media experts as well, because as I said, we don't just teach floristry. We teach social media from a floristry point of view, marketing from a floristry point of view, websites from a floristry point of view. So we bring in web designers, social media, marketeers,
wedding florists, funeral florists, so they all
confidence boosters,
like sort of mindfulness, that sort of thing. So it's a big package that websites, people come in and talk about websites and what you need to have for your website. Not everybody is at that stage yet, but eventually they will be, you know, or like we say at Christmas, like Viv Bradford would come in and she'd talk about the pitfalls of Christmas and don't get caught in this hole, or, you know, this is what you should be doing. And so, yeah.
And again, Viv would be a big wedding florist in the UK. So she, you know, again, for our UK and our Irish and American students, again, she would give them advice, her experiences of dealing with the bride, and maybe not committing to the flower, commit to the color. Do you know that way?
Well, I feel like a lot of people start a business before they've had any you know, pre-work in it. And it's like, oh, wow, I have this business, but I didn't realize I'd have to do the website and all the Instagram posts and all the marketing, or know all the flowers. So it's like, where do you go for all these different parts of it? And once
and like even the accounts, the stem count and the costing and the adding up, you nearly need to be a mathematician as well. And normally you find that people who are very creative, normally they're not very good at the business side of it, that way. And like even like some of our, like a lot of our students, where they struggle, they can write up the stem count that I have called out to them, but it's when they have to do their own wedding design, work out the stem count, then work out what the cost is, and then what the markup should be. Now, obviously, I know your program does all that, but at the moment I have them on pen and paper doing it.
Yeah.
For the moment.
You have to be able to figure it out with pen and paper first, just to make sure it all jives. But I feel like we've spent hours and hours and hours and lots of money trying to build out a solution to help this particular industry. Because when I entered it, I was like, where is the solution that's going to make this easier? So like for us, I appreciate you saying that.
But I was explaining to, again, some of our students today, because they're on weddings. And I says, like, instead of just an A4 page with Mary's Flower Shop wrote at the top, one bride, two bridesmaids, and you probably don't have a screenshot to show what your proposals are. Can you bring up something? Are you able to do that?
No, maybe can.
Because I was raving about your proposals, like how professional they are and all the colours, and you'll have photographs of the flowers and the mood board, and if they don't like that flower, they don't like that colour, they can substitute and change it around. And again, I was trying to explain it to them, and probably should have given you more warning that you could have something set up.
I got this. And I appreciate you saying something, but it really does make a difference. And even
the professionalism of the proposals, just like if they went to somebody else and they just got a white A4 page, Mary's Flower Shop, one bride, two bridesmaids, three buttonholes, the way, it's never going to compete, never against the proposals that you have.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, that's where like it sets you apart from the other florists, is that you're able to, because there's so many florists that are just shopping around, or not florists, wedding couples that are just shopping around and send the same email to everybody.
Yeah.
And I know Corrine has a lot of back behind the scenes about selling products as well, and how are selling your services to your wedding couples. Oh, here we go.
Let's see. I don't know if I'm.
Now, I know we have put her on the spot here.
Yeah, so I hold on. I don't know why it looks like it's falling off the page. Hold on one second. I got all these windows open. Can you see this now?
We can. Yeah.
So this is the front page, and then kind of a second page, and you can change any of these images, but it's all the client information's on here.
The contract.
It adds all the flowers that you're using. Any accessory items too, so you can always hide those.
Brilliant. Because I was talking to, I'm not sure if she's watching here tonight, Kay Sullivan. She's over in the UK, and she was, had a wedding inquiry. She was doing a proposal, and she was doing a mood board. And I said, join in on the details software webinar this evening. I said, because I said, when you see how mood boards are so hard to do, but not with your program, because your program basically does the mood board for you. And again, if they
the whole breakdown,
everything is there, that way. It's like I was just amazed at that when you went through that with us at Floricon or Florex. We were just absolutely amazed about it, and we probably need to actually have a class. With Corrine, that way? Maybe we'll do like a podcast or something.
Yeah.
And that you could, like the same class that you did with me on a one-to-one, that you could maybe do it as a class.
That we can share it.
That we could then maybe, what do you think?
Love that. Because I think it does make the sale at the end of the day, when you're trying to look professional and just to make it look like they can trust you. Like you might have had all these years of experience, but if it doesn't show in like the paperwork or what you're giving them, it's like, how do you have that confidence? So it builds immediate rapport, I guess. but I'm happy to do that anytime you guys want.
Yeah, no, because I think it'd be
Open to
brilliant.
it.
Yeah.
And like I have like the last 2 days, and because like Marita is another student, I'm not sure if she's watching this evening, and she's in the middle of doing her very, very first wedding proposal, you know. And she says, "Oh, will I go and will I get the details program?" And I said, "Well, wait till you talk to Corrine and wait till we see what this special offer that we're going to get, big discount. You know, the Irish, we're always looking for a bargain."
Yeah, we have new plans now. So we basically start, it's around £20 a month, I think, to start.
Wow.
And you can build
Nothing.
up to 3 events. And as you build more events, you move up in our tiers. But once you create over 10 events, you move into our unlimited package. And those are about £120 a month or £1,200 for the
10
year.
events in the month.
No, 10 events in total. So
Okay.
build over 10 events, but it stores and keeps all of those designs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just would just depend on the number of different clients you're working with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you're
great.
€20 a month, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
And I think that would probably suit a lot of our students that are only starting, do you know, that way. And maybe again, I'm not sure, like followers maybe that's watching in this evening that are only maybe starting off in the wedding industry, sure, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's only 2 pints. That's only 2 pints of Guinness.
I know.
That's all that is.
It's like a Starbucks. You have Starbucks there, right? No.
We have
We do,
Starbucks
yeah.
as well, yeah.
That's so fun. And it's one of the big things when we started getting a lot of calls from the UK, we realized that we needed to really reflect on the way that we did our currency. So we have almost any currency available now. We also had to like work in like what people call things. Like we call it a zip code. You call it like a postal
Air
code.
code. Well, we call it an air code in Ireland.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. And like where in the UK they say buttoners and we say buttonholes.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That
just
makes
like
a
that.
big difference. But
Yeah.
it's good to like meet people because, you know, we have friends all over the world now, but people are really direct and they're like, that's not how we say it over here. And I'm like,
We had that when we were in the States. We were talking to this lovely girl, Lexi, the flower girl. She was from Texas, was it? Alabama. Oh, she's a dote. You know, she's absolutely gorgeous. You know, everybody should go over and follow her. And she was asking us all the words.
Yeah.
Like where we would used to say garbage, we say rubbish. You say
cupboard, we'd say press.
Yeah, you say cupboard, we say press. You say the pavement, we say the path.
Yeah.
And you also spell favorite wrong. Where's this?
No, you spell it wrong. And actually, there's another one that you spell wrong as well. Colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, the colour is wrong.
Like where I would say to Deirdre, your top is massive, but I would mean that top is beautiful, okay? I don't mean massive as in huge, but massive means like, you know what I mean?
It's beautiful.
I love your hair, Corrine. It's massive. That means it's beautiful,
like,
you know?
No, and also my husband and I use the word awesome a lot, and people don't use that quite as bit.
No, but when we came back, we were starting. Yeah, we were starting to use it. Yeah, awesome.
Oh yeah, no, and they only rarely use awesome. Like if something's awesome, you don't use it every other word. So
okay.
So what I have a few more questions here, and then we have a rapid fire questions. We didn't
okay.
know, so you guys got to tune in. They're rapid. But do you have any advice for any florists who dream of starting their own business, and what should they do? What should be their first step?
Train, learn.
And I'm not saying that just because that's what our business is. Like, you know what I mean? Like for anybody starting off any business, you know, that way. And if you don't have the proper training behind you, you're going to lose oodles and oodles of money. And you're not going to build up your customer because obviously you'll only fool the customer once.
Yeah. And plus as well, you'll only make that mistake once because you lose the customers. They won't come back. So it's a bottomless run. You're running.
When I hear people saying about new customers are great, okay, there's nothing wrong with new customers, but where's the returning customers? And if you don't have returning customers in the florist business, there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, I would agree to that. It's always good to get them to refer you to their friends. So how can you to like refer? And you have to sometimes ask people because I feel like sometimes they don't know or they are uncomfortable asking for that.
Yeah.
But I think it's like if you don't ask, then you'll never get that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So looking ahead, is there anything new on the horizon for Case Flowers?
Oh yeah. We've been so for the last 2 years we've been working on a new program. So it'll be module 5 if you want to call it, but it's going to be completely sustainable. So sustainable mechanics, but commercial.
because there is a lot of sustainable courses out there, but they're all like, as I'd say, it's not sustainable in your business to be sustainable using some of the mechanics that's shown out there, like 3 days later and you have your remembrance spray done. So we have done our sustainable course from a commercial point of view that it is sustainable. Money-wise, it's sustainable. You will make profit.
That's going to be,
that's of June, is it?
The 1st of June. We're planning on, I had to put a date on it because otherwise, if I didn't put a date on it, we'd still be here this time next year. As I said, we're 2 years working on it. So we put a date on it. The 1st of June, it's going to launch. And we have a couple of our Bloom Studio students already who are going to be beta testers on it to see how that goes. But
we call them guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. Yeah.
Well, it is timely because I feel like sustainability is such a huge topic of conversation right now. And I feel like we're all striving to be more sustainable.
And every little, but just because you use foam doesn't mean you're not sustainable. You can still be a sustainable florist and use foam. There's lots of other ways that you can be sustainable. And, you know, like down to compostable cups.
Yeah.
You know, when you're having your coffee, you know, using wooden skewers instead of metal or whatever. There's so many different ways. Like here we have a whiteboard where we used to print out stuff. Now we write it on the whiteboard so that we're not printing as much paper. There's so many easy ways to be sustainable without.
I suppose our biggest thing also is our school is upstairs now. Now it's more of a warehouse than a school because we kind of converted it since we went online. But we're in an area called Rialto and there's lots of like outdoor plants and window boxes. So what we do with all our water is, now it keeps me fit as well. I go down the stairs with the buckets of water. And again, we use all our old water to water all the local plants. And we kind of feel like that's our way of giving something back to the environment. Like, there's lots of other things. You know, I mean, obviously we compost all our, you know, our green rubbish.
Yeah. But there is, as I said, like there's a huge focus on sustainability now within our industry. But as Jeanette says, you need to be sustainable in business as well. And for some very busy florists that do a lot of funerals, it's not always easy not to use foam. Or like in America, like you're working in such hot climates, it's very hard not to use foam as a water source when you're working in like something has to last a day in Florida. Exactly. So that's the next big thing I think for us is to get this course launched, is to open up a few new ideas, new mechanics, and show mechanics that are available, because there's a lot of stuff available out there. Some of it is quite expensive. But there is a lot of stuff out there.
Some of it is not good.
And we're very honest.
Yeah.
We'll be honest and say, because we're not affiliated to, which I think we're so lucky, we're not affiliated to Details. We're not affiliated to anybody. So if we don't like something, we can say, our opinion is we don't particularly like how this works. You might like it, but that's lovely.
That's nice.
I'm going to start using that all the time. No. I think it's great. And I find there's some people over in your neck of the woods that I'm just so fond of. One of which is Carolyn from the Good Florist Guide. I find her.
Oh yeah, our Carolyn is great. Yeah, she's
so
gas.
Entertaining. Like she's like, don't shame me for using foam anymore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, that's good.
Exactly. Like, and she's dead right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're running a business, you're supporting your family, you have to get a wage, you have to support your staff, you know, that way. And if you find, especially in funeral work, where you will have to more than likely use a lot of foam products, well, then it has to be done. But there's other things that you can do to change, you know, that way. And if possible, that's what everybody's just doing their best.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's all I think we need is people just to do their best.
And I think everybody wants to, but they don't want to be ridiculed if they have to choose.
Oh,
that.
Exactly.
They don't want to hide behind something and like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't agree with like the foam bashers, as we call them, you know, that way. And if somebody is making an arrangement in foam and then start criticizing them underneath, I feel like saying, hold on, do you drive a car? Do you go on holidays? Do you fly? Are you on an airplane? Do you know that way? Like, there's lots of other things that's harmful to the environment as well, not just floral foam. So I don't agree with the foam bashers.
Okay, that's good. Well,
they're not lovely. They're not lovely.
I know. Well, you get all kinds of people from all over.
Do.
You just never know. But we've enjoyed really working with a lot of UK and Irish florists, and it's just so fun for our team, especially to talk to them because we know we sound very different, and they sound very different. But you
Absolutely.
just feel more worldly. You know, you just feel more sophisticated whenever you're talking to people in other parts of the world because it's the same but different.
Yeah.
So we have some rapid fire questions now. The goal of this is to make you quick on your feet because we're gonna do at the end of the year.
Now listen, I'm menopause and I've brain fog, so listen. I do my best.
It's really simple. And you can't say that's lovely because I know that's in the same language. What is your favorite word in another language?
Buckle.
Oh, what?
I was going to say
Buckle.
Buckle.
Buckle is the Irish for word.
Okay.
Got you out there.
Yeah, I was a little scared. I'm like, beep, we're gonna have to believe that.
Yeah.
No.
So in the Irish language, the Irish for word is focal.
Focail.
I'm glad you spelled that. Okay. So what is your drink of choice if next time I see you and I bought you a drink?
Oh, gin and tonic for me.
Red wine.
Okay. What is your favorite flower?
Lilies.
Freesia.
Okay. Summer, winter, spring, or fall?
Summer.
Yeah, summer.
Okay. I know. I was expecting that. Morning or evening?
Evening.
Okay.
You're probably more morning, aren't
I
you?
probably am a morning person, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta see you ladies do a TikTok. You know, there's Kylie and Kendall Jenner when they walk like they're walking to pick which ones they are. Like, I would love to see you guys doing that. It's either or kind of thing. Are you more of a thinker or a doer?
I'm probably a thinker, I'd say.
I'm probably the doer.
Yeah, or she tells me, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Good. Place you most want to travel in the world?
America. I would love to see. Yeah, you weren't talking about that. Yeah. I want to see the Grand Canyon and Niagara Falls. That's my 2 bucket lists.
Yes.
And I've been to the Grand Canyon, but I would like to see America or Africa, like such a safari.
Oh, safari. I've been to Niagara Falls last year for the Florida Villes conference that was in Toronto. And we decided to drive to Niagara on the lake, and you have to do it. It's the most charming, beautiful.
Yeah, I'd love to go. That's definitely.
What's for dinner tonight?
Turkey burgers.
We've had it already.
Oh, good.
It's nearly 7 p.m. here.
Okay. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I'm not
Simply
really
the best.
Yeah, I'm not really a music person.
Yeah, but I would be Simply the Best.
Simply the Best. Is that Cher?
Oh, the rest.
Okay. What is your hidden talent? I can't say floristry.
What is my hidden talent?
I'm a great negotiator.
Yeah.
I was waiting for her to say fuckle. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I got a wicked sense of humor.
God, hidden talents. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know.
I suppose in an emergency, you can always think on
my feet. Yeah, I suppose I can think on my feet. Yeah, very
and
quick.
to be straight away, like, to give you an instance, like, my mum is in Lanzarote at the moment and she broke her arm the other day, and within 10 minutes Deirdre had Sinead organised on a flight over, had organised a new iPad so that she'd be able to use the iPad, obviously because she couldn't use her phone, had the big plastic thing for putting on her arm so she could still get in the swimming pool, had the bars for going at the toilet and the shower, you know, that way, so she could help herself. What else did you organise? Like, she literally tick, you know, Amazon, pay by PayPal, get delivered, Sinead on the plane, all the rest. And mum was delighted, you know, the way. Of course, Sinead arrived over. Sinead is the youngest sister, the baby. And like, mum loves us all, but Sinead is definitely the baby. And she's ringing us up, and Sinead was so good. And she got me a new iPad, and she got me a plastic thing for my arm, and she got me
all the credit.
Yeah, absolutely. But we were happy. And that would be Deirdre's definitely her secret talent.
All right. What is your favorite dance move? And you can show us if you'd like.
I'm not really.
We're not
Really
dancers.
dancers. Now, when I teach on module 3, move over the floral hoop. Okay, so we have this hoop, and I'm teaching it to the students, and I'm saying to them, it's like where you can kind of go, like this. And when Deirdre was editing the video, she put that move on replay. So when and of course, I forget about it. And it's about halfway through the program, probably on week 2, the students get to the floral hoop. And they're all then sending me messages and saying, "Oh, Jeanette, that's the only move I can make." No, I'm not a great dancer.
No, we wouldn't be good dancers.
We would have done Irish dancing when we were kids. So Irish dancing, well, when we did it, like traditional Irish dancing, it was like shoulders back, arms straight,
stiff,
very stiff. So I find, like, unless we have a good few drinks on us, where we loved when we were in America.
Yeah.
Oh, the girls doing the dancing, and when they do it with their bums.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
I don't know what it's called.
I don't even know.
It's
twerking now.
Oh, yeah.
Like we thought that was amazing.
It's gonna be wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. A rapid fire question. What would be your superpower if you could have any superpower?
World peace.
Replicate myself.
Yeah. I'm always saying, if we could get a clone of Deirdre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that would be it.
To say. Awesome.
You didn't say you wanted a clone of me.
Maybe it's enough.
I
do have a clone of Jeanette. When I record her here during the day, and then I have to go home at night time and listen to her again while I edit her. I've enough.
Well, my husband was a wedding photographer, and by the time he edited like the 800 picture, he was like hating the bride and groom.
Yes.
I don't want to look at these people ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, if people want to reach out or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
kaysflourschool.com is our website, but we also have a free mini course for beginners. If you want to take a photograph of the screen.
I'll be going closer.
So no, that's close enough. So anyone that wants, it's a free course, and it's a completely beginner course. If you are an experienced florist and you want one of your staff to sign up, copy the QR code, and you can get in touch with us that way.
Cool. That sounds perfect. I look forward to doing another talk with you guys soon. And if you guys are open to doing a class, we are here for it. And of course, meeting anybody that's over in the UK when we come over for the British Floral Association conference again this year. And then maybe after that.
And maybe a little visit to Ireland. Yes, if that event pulls off
and you better give out your details as well, because I know there was a lot of our students joining in this evening, or they'll be watching this on the replay, to get more information on the detailed software.
Yeah, if you
contact
our website to detailsflowers.com, and you can click login or sign up. And then once you create our account, we have a great team. They'll reach out to you just to make sure we answer any questions to help you get started. Again, you get a week's free trial just to get acquainted or just figure the site out, and then answer your basic questions. But you can start on that lowest tier, and then when you work up to it, to get to our bigger ones. But we have all kinds of classes, all kinds of videos. Again, we're just trying to do our part to make sure that we make it as user-friendly as possible, but there's a lot that you can do in details, like the floral industry and this floral work. There's so many facets. So we really want to tailor it for each individual person. So
if they contact you, then they can get the week's free trial, and then they can sign up to the
€20 a month.
The €20 a month then to try it out.
Yep. And we'll send you over a code so that you can share that with your students in the future.
Super.
Just mention this class that they saw us here. We'll be sure to honor any of those discounts.
Excellent. So. That's super. Thanks a million. We really appreciate that. And we look forward to anyone. And on social, we're Kays Flower School. So if you want to find us on social, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we're over there on Kays Flower School. And Threads.
The new one.
Oh, yeah. You're on TikTok too.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know how you keep up. Like, it is just so much.
Well, that's where Sinead comes in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You give it all to the baby sister. You're like,
that's it. Yeah.
The baby sister. No. Awesome. Well, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. And lovely to see you again, Sue, on the call.
It's great.
Yeah, see you soon.
Thank you very much.
I checked out her book while I was in there, and I was like, what a work of masterpiece, and like so much time, because I recognize when it takes people a lot of time to put together a tool. And for a small investment, you have that resource at your fingertips. Like you can't,
Yeah, like, to be honest with you, there's not a lot of books that we do recommend, because you could just be buying books left, right, and center. But Sue's book, particularly this one, the cut flower one, this is you can see it's well battered. We still refer to it, and this is the 3rd edition. We actually have the 4th edition because Sue did send us the 4th edition. But yeah, like, I have to say, they are just such a godsend for any trainee florist, but also experienced florists.
Because I use it all the time. Like, I still use it, that way, to look up something.
Yeah. And we do have a lot of florals represented, not all of them represented on our site. I would say most of them, but I feel like you're always needing that inspiration. So wherever you can do it, because I feel like people always go to their go-tos, hydrangea roses, but how often would you like to say, like, oh, use this hellebore or clematis or something just more unusual that it just might not be at the top of your head when you're sitting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yay. Well, thank you guys. We'll be sure to send out this recording to anybody that's registered. If you have any other questions, please feel free to send them on over, and we'll just connect you guys to Deidre and Jeanette. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a great
Thanks a million for having us here.
I know. I've got the whole day still ahead of me, and you guys are about to go to bed.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. No, it's only 10:07.
Glass of wine, though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, fair enough. So thank you guys, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
And thanks a million, everybody that's joined in tonight. Listen, great to have you all. Again, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. So much fun. All right. Great good news to know you guys. All right.